Hi, the Oregon Football League going into the third week of the season. I'm Pfenning, Alex Molden, here to talk about football. We got a pretty good week coming up here. We're going to be at the Rogue Springfield game for the game of the week. Also, we got the Oregon team at High Desert. That's in Bend. Klamath is playing at Vancouver. So, Portland fans, you can go out and watch the Crusaders. And the Monarchs are facing the Umpqua Valley Knights and play at Douglas High School. That's a battle of 2-0 teams. So we are going to publish the This is our first round of stats after 2 games, and we're just standing here looking at Portland Monarchs are averaging 400 yards a game. So
in the air.
In the air, yeah. So they got 100 yards on the ground, so they're up at 521 yards a game. Alex, when you look at stats as a pro player, how much did you guys pay attention to stats?
Oh, a ton of it. Wednesday was the first practice of the week. Mondays would be the in the weight room and kind of like a walkthrough, and then Tuesday was our day off, and then Wednesday we get this big binder of stats, and what that let us know was the opponent's tendencies, and that can be huge, whether it's first and second down, and we got third down tendencies, third down where it's long, where it's short yardage, red zone. There's a ton of different information that you can pick up from stats. So it's very, very important, especially at the pro level.
So on Wednesdays you went to school?
Yes, went to school. You had to break down. You had your homework. Okay, this is what we're gonna work on. We got to take away the things that they do great. There's only about 3 or 4 things that you can really, truly take away from an offense. And so it was our job, or the coach's job, to give us the game plan. Okay, when they line up in this position, or if this guy goes into motion, this is what they're going to do, or this is the tendency that they're going to do.
So you're studying enough so that it's just second nature when you're out there on the field?
Second nature. You want to make it so where practice is where you really, at the pro level, that's when you got paid. All right, you should play the game for free. That's what my coach said anyway. I don't know how much I bought into that, but it's about getting it down so game time comes, you don't have to think about it, just react.
All right, here's another thing. We in Saturday's game, Portland played at home against the Renton Ravens up from Washington, and it was an extremely good game. Ended up being 35-12 for Portland, but the 12 points, the Renton team played really well, and after the game, the Renton player, it was 1 or 2 players that were, I got asked them about how the game, and they went, if it was their first game of the season, whereas Portland was playing their 5th game of the year, and they came back, one of the players goes, if this was a regular season game, we would have killed those guys, which is, kind of a fun statement for the media. So when you're, in the pro game and you get media all over the place, how often did you say, and maybe not stuff like that, but how often you let go and kind of go, all right, here's the real way it is. I'm not going to be I'm not going to be team friendly. I'm going to be media friendly.
Well, you know what? It's one of those things you got to be careful with, because you don't want to be the guy who gives the other team or that next opponent, stuff that they can put into the locker rooms. You don't want to be on their wall. When guys walking around, every time they walk past the wall, they see your quote saying that they're going to destroy you or something like that. So you got to be careful with that. But you have guys who just, that's how they they work. They just program like that, where they just say the first thing that comes off their mouth, off their tongue. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
So, and I know in the media, we kind of live for that. We're always looking out for, come on, let's say something that's, we just play the game and, the Lord willing will win. So what do you, when you look back, what's your most quotable quote?
I think it was, first it came after a game. It came after a game. We had played, and this was back in college. We played USC back in '94. This was our Rose Bowl year. The Rose Bowl year, and it was one of those deals where we went down to LA, and that was a place that the Ducks had a very tough time winning. We went down there and kind of exercised some demons, and we got a win with a couple of our starters out, and they were the USC guys were talking a little bit trash before the game. And so that kind of got me riled up, and I I told some other guys, they were saying this about us, and so it just gave us a little bit more sort of
Fire.
edge, or fire to get it going. And so after the game, it gave me a chance to kind of unload all that stuff. And I said, hey, you know what? They was talking a little bit of trash, but every dog has his day. And so today was our day, and rest is history.
They remember that the next year, or they have other guys with stronger quotes?
Yeah. My quote wasn't all that, it wasn't all that juicy or meaty, as I guess you media people would like to say.
I've had some, the one I remember is actually a high school game, Central Catholic kid, they had creamed some team, and so I go, well, next week you're playing another team that's the head of the league, and that's a battle for the league lead, and he looks at me and goes, another team, another 50-point win. So the coaches got on him pretty good about that.
Yes, that's another X factor you got to worry about, what the coach is going to say.
That's it. All right, so this week we got Portland at Umpqua. That's a battle for the league lead. Klamath is at Vancouver. Klamath's doing a really good job stat-wise. They're 2-0, and already the players from Portland, they've got really good stats. The Crusaders, they're averaging 428 yards a season. And after the game last week, I asked some of the players, all right, how much are you looking forward to that May 1st game? That's several weeks away when they go down to Klamath. I tried to ask them not, too much about that game ahead, because they still got 2 games ahead of that. So did that come up very often? You're like, hey, we're looking forward. If there's a game coming up, are you already looking forward to that, as opposed to the game that's right ahead of you?
Well, at the pro level, it's like every game was going to be a tough game. You never know. It could be one of the bad teams. They still have professional athletes. They still have world-class athletes on the team. They just haven't really put it together. But any given Sunday, you can be beat. So
did that affect you talking about games 2 or 3? Like you're going to be.
It never happened. It was always one game at a time. But of course, as you get closer to the playoff hunt, and you're trying to string together consecutive wins. You start looking where, if you can get into the playoffs. Then towards the end of the season, you start to kind of look ahead at not necessarily an opponent, but just the opportunity to get into the playoffs.
All right, our other 2 games are Oregon's playing at High Desert, that's over in Bend, and our game of the week is Rogue Warriors, the Medford team coming up to play the Springfield Buzzards. We're going to be down there at Lowell High School. That's a game of 1-1 team, so that's a little bit of a positioning for the playoffs. So. All right, we'll be at you. Talk to you next week again. I'm Pfenning, Alex Molden. Talk to you soon.